Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
Hey guys, what's up? Ryan here, Torsion Talk Podcast, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about marketing agencies. I get a few questions in my inbox, and I don't promote such and such media on here for a very specific reason. I don't want this to be like a platform where I just pitch like my marketing services. I do mention GDU a lot because I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of different. We're trying to bring people together, and I don't know, I think it's different. So if that annoys you, I guess it's too bad, because I'm going to keep pushing GDU. I think it's amazing. I think it helps business owners and a lot. And it's we have testimonies of that. But for those of you guys who don't know, I own and run such and such media. And I've gotten a lot of questions lately about hiring a marketing agency, or, you know, people don't really know how much things are. So we're going to take a little bit of time today to just chat about, like, hey, you're thinking about hiring an agency. What should you know? What questions should you ask? So first and foremost, I'll say there are a lot of agencies that will reach out and say things like, hey, found some issues with your website, or hey, you're ranking on page 3, I can get you on page 1. There's a lot of like deceptive like approaches to getting in with business owners. And I'll tell you, like, the ranking thing, here's the deal with the ranking approach. I think the ranking approach can be good, right? But they never do like garage door repair or like keywords that actually mean anything. They'll find keywords that you didn't optimize for and say, you're not even ranking for this. And it'll be like some long tail keyword in a town that you're not even interested in ranking for it. And so that's their in, right? And if you're having a bad day or your phone calls are down and your agency's not doing what you think they should be doing, then maybe that's how they get their foot in the door. And so I think if you start a relationship on deceptive services or just deceptive approaches, it's going to be a deceptive marketing agency. So what do you need to know? Here's a couple of things that I think are very important. There are a lot, like I would say 90% of marketing agencies don't do their own fulfillment. What does that mean? That means they're subbing out the work, right? And a lot of times they're subbing it out overseas. When you say things like SEO, SEO means something very different to a lot of different people. And that I've seen that be like, I've seen companies pay for SEO and not get anything in return, like zero. You got nothing. You paid $500 a month and the company didn't do anything. I've seen companies pay $500 a month and they get a blog, right? I've seen, well, let me just back up. I think you guys get the point with that. What you need to ask is, are you performing the SEO in house? And what is your strategy? What do you plan to do? What activity are you physically doing? If they're not writing new content, creating new pages, um, getting backlinks from other websites to yours, if they're not doing those things, those are like the key pillars. If they're not working on code and cleaning up the site code to be faster, more reliable, if they aren't, if the site speed's not good, you can run a Google Lighthouse report. Run a Google Lighthouse report on your website and see what it's like. And if they're not working on that, trying to get that score up, then they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. There's three main pillars, and this is my opinion, but I've been doing this since 1999. Uh, Clean code and site structure is one pillar. I've kind of bundled those into one. Number two is um, content. So written content. The content needs to be written, unique, and compelling content for users, not for algorithms. Number three is backlinks. Those are the three core pillars to every good SEO campaign. And just doing a blog is not the answer, right? Um, I hired, and not many of you probably know this because I don't say it a lot, but I hired multiple SEO companies, most of them residing in the home service sector. And here's what I found out. At the end of the month, when I say, hey, what did you do? They have no record of what they did. What activity did you perform? A lot of them will use excuses and not give you any information. So you need to be asking your SEO company, what did you do for me last month? I don't think that's too much to ask. You paid them. If you're not seeing the results, you paid them. The next thing, I get people call me all the time talking about how they hired a marketing agency 3 months ago and they're not getting phone calls. Listen, nothing drives me more crazy than this. SEO is not an overnight success. And what I'll tell you is it also depends on where you're at in the country, how many competitors you have, how many of those competitors have been doing SEO for years and years and years. If you start a race 5 years late, you're not going to catch up overnight. It's not going to happen. So the expectations need to be set from the marketing agency exactly what this looks like. And quite frankly, I lose deals during this process because I am very honest about what I think it's going to take to get results. Even in some of the most competitive markets, we're 4 to 6 months because we're competing against some of the most difficult keywords in the industry, in any industry. Garage door repair is one of the most difficult SEO terms in any industry. I would put that up against like some very aggressive attorney keywords. The other thing is, I get a lot of questions about multiple clients in the same market. Well, this is very interesting to me because, a fellow agency owner posted about this, how like no one can be effective and have two like of the same companies in the same market. And I very much disagree with that. And I'll tell you why. If you're very cookie cutter in what you do, that is the case. You can't, I don't think. Um, but that is the problem. Like most marketing agencies are very cookie cutter. We, as a marketing agency, I don't think we're very cookie cutter. I mean, we do a lot of the same things for our clients, but we cater towards their goals. And a lot of times we may have one client in one market that does commercial mainly, and that's their primary focus. And we have another client in that same market where their focus is strictly residential. So I don't even know, like sometimes people want to focus more on new doors than repair. I mean, it varies. It's very different. And so I think it's important that people understand that it's not so much about how many people that you have in one market. It's about what's the strategy and who's capable of getting the job done. That's what it boils down to. I think there's a lot of deception when it comes to business owners because not a lot of people know what SEO is. And I'll break it down a little bit. So it's search engine optimization. I've been doing this since 1999. I learned through AOL chat rooms when I was a kid. And I've been building sites and doing SEO since I was 19 years old. And I've been very good at it. My brain just works that way. I hired a team and taught them what it is to rank for SEO, to perform SEO so that you rank. And we're good at it. And there's a lot of companies that are good at it. But there's also a vast majority of more companies that have no clue what it is. And what happens is you have one guy who will go out and sell a bunch of clients for $500 a month and then can't get the work done. And then he starts looking for answers and shipping the work overseas, and then the work goes to crap. And maybe he was good at one point, right? But not anymore because he doesn't even have time. And that overwhelming feeling, they just typically shut down and just collect payments as long as they can and have that churn where people cancel. And then their job is to just bring on new people so they can maintain their lifestyle. The other important thing I think is extremely important is, do you own the content? First of all, I think you got to be very careful who you give ownership of your domain to. Like, never transfer your domain to your marketing company. I don't think that's wise. I also think that all assets, all directories, all everything should be tied to an email address that you have control over, so that in the event that I don't know, anything were to happen, like if the entire agency were to go bankrupt, or they, like if it's built on a single person, they die or whatever, like who knows what would happen to all your stuff? Would you have to start over from scratch? Like we built our company in a way that you never have to worry about that. Everything's tied to one email that you have access to, that you control the password, you control the email address. Like, we put a lot of thought into how other agencies do it wrong and all the frustration that I had, and we built our company around those things. And we log, so we sell bundles of time, and this is the way you know we're doing work. We sell bundles of time, and we log in and log out while we work on your stuff, and we put what we did, how long we worked on it, and who did it. That's how you know things are getting done, right?
Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for quiet hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
So make sure you control your domain, make sure you control your assets, your website. That should be yours. I don't care. A lot of marketing agencies will come in with like a really low ball offer where they'll say, you know what, we'll build you a website for $500. And then you got to pay us like $500 a month. And what happens in that scenario is all the work they do is theirs. And they really get startup companies with this who don't have a lot of money and they don't know the right questions to ask. And so they're not like fully transparent about the situation, because if you leave them, you lose the domain, you lose the website, all the content written on the site, like it's all theirs. This is not what you want. The Google business profile, like you do not want to get your business off the ground, get going, have great success, and then have to start from scratch. Not ideal. And I don't think you're going to have great success with $500 website and $500 a month anyway. Like the amount of work that goes in on building a website is massive. Like months of work with a lot of different people. I think people love their experience with us on the website for the mere fact that we write all the content. So a lot of marketing agencies won't write the content for the website. Or if they do, they charge like an astronomical amount. You're talking like 15,000 or more. And this brings me to, like, should you be looking for a marketing agency in your location, or should you be looking for a marketing agency who understands what you do? And it's like no marketing agency in the world can do a better job at marketing a garage door company than we can. Not one. Hands down, not one company can outdo us. We have the best SEO people, they're copywriters, we've got backlink people, we've got PR people, they all understand the different brands of garage doors, the different types. They understand what a torque master is, torsion conversion, extension springs, the difference between them all of that. So if you're telling me, like, if someone could sit down and write a page of content on garage door repair and discuss legitimately and sound like a garage door guy for the most part, what that looks like versus really needing to know your area, what do you think is more important? If someone really knows Atlanta but cannot write an article about garage door repair. I think they're at a huge disadvantage where if you know garage doors, it's really difficult. It might be difficult for you to understand the landscape, but that's why you have like onboarding calls and there's data sites that you can look up, Google Maps. Like I can get a really good understanding of what that looks like. And some of our bigger clients that sign up for like our CMO package, our integrated marketing package, I'll fly out to them and kind of get an idea of what it's like there. But the landscape, this is a huge misconception, right? I've seen more companies fail or struggle because they want to hire a local guy versus hiring a legitimate agency who understands what they do. And we're not the only ones who understand garage doors. So I'm not trying to like show my company here. But I do want you to know that I do think it's more important for people to understand what you do than it is for them to understand where you do it. Now they do need to understand that eventually, but what is more important than where? And you can tell them where. And there's, I mean, there's enough resources online to be able to figure a lot of that stuff out. You know, I think when it comes to a marketing agency, it's not just about SEO. It's about other things too, right? So I think about SEO, I think about pay per click. You know, we've kind of been easing into pay per click because pay per click's very different than SEO. And I think it's important that if you're going to offer it to people, you know what you're doing. You got enough people to manage it. And, you know, in the beginning, I was the only one that knew how to do it. Now we have 3 people, but they also have other responsibilities. So we're trying to do a good job of managing that. And I also, you know, one thing that I think is pretty cool or and interesting is we've hired 1 or 2 people from other agencies who were maybe superstars or, you know, crushed it at their previous jobs. And they come here to such and such and they're like, "Oh, we need to do this. We need to do that." And I'm like, "No, no, no, that doesn't work anymore. That's Google update XYZ changed that." And you're talking like a year or 2 ago. And they're like, "How do you guys keep up with all this?" And I said, "Well, we only sell 85% of our time. So if we have, you know, 12 people, 40 hours a week, we're only selling 85% of that. 10% of that is in meetings where we're getting together and doing like site reviews, account reviews. Everyone comes together and goes through each account and we take a deep dive, go through every page. We look on mobile, we look on desktop, like we do a lot of that. And then 5% of your 40 hours a week here is further education. We're reading about algorithm updates and case studies and pay per click and social media trends. If it's relevant to their job, they're learning it. So not many companies put education as a priority. So I think one thing that you should be asking is, you know, who's responsible for educating your team on all the changes in SEO? Because it happens literally weekly now. Like if you're doing local SEO, changes are happening on a weekly basis. And if your marketing agency isn't keeping up with that, isn't reading case studies, aren't doing A/B testing in some scenarios, aren't reading articles and blogs on what other companies are doing for case studies and how that's affecting ranking, aren't following the people who are tied in with Google or at Google giving algorithm update information. Like some of these people are running SEO like it was 1999 and it ain't working. So
You got to be on top of your game. What should you look for in a website? Well, I'm going to tell you. And if you have a website now, you should be checking your website on a fairly regular basis. You should be looking at it in mobile on different browsers. Like the most popular are going to be like Firefox, Google, Safari. I think if you're checking those on mobile, desktop, Internet Explorer, whatever the new version of that is. I don't have that. I got a Mac, but our staff has it. We have it on a couple of computers so we can check websites, check it on desktop or mobile. The thing about us is when we build a website, we don't have to just build it for one browser. We got to build it for all the popular browsers, mobile, and then also a desktop. Is essentially you may build a site and it may be broken in two of the browsers, one on desktop and one on mobile, and you got to fix that. It's a lot of work. So you, as a business owner, should add that onto your list of things that you need to have someone in your organization do to check the mobile site, run the lighthouse report, check the desktop site, go to the different pages, make sure that pictures aren't broken. I see that so many times. Broken images on websites. That's going to deter people from calling you quickly. And I see it a lot. Get rid of those stock images on your website. It's overly obvious that you don't have any photos. And all you have to do is spend a couple of days taking photos out in the field and you can replace them all. So I've been harping on that for God knows how long, years. Google's not giving you any credit for stock photos on your website. You know what you do get credit for is original photos. You got to make that happen. So I get at least 20 or 30 leads from photos on my website every month. I also utilize my photos in every way possible. Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, it's everywhere. My website. Photos, especially for what we do, the transformation that we make. I mean, if you're selling a bunch of short panel raised doors, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But if you're selling beautiful doors and you're not taking pictures and putting them on your website, social media to draw attention, you're missing out. And by the way, do not go to other websites or steal photos off of Google. Those photos a lot of times are copyrighted. You can get sued for that. I see that so often. Probably once every couple months, my team finds a photo of mine on other people's websites. If you are going to start your own company and you took pictures of the work you did for that company, you cannot use those photos on your website. I know that's a huge misconception. I had a guy who was a total prick who worked for me. And he always used to say, well, that's my jobs. No, sir. That is not your jobs. Those are jobs I gave you as an installer. They are my customers. I bought the doors. All you did was show up, load your truck, and go install them like a good guy. And you hardly could do that right. And then you want to use the photos on your own website when you freaking screw me and go start your own company. He didn't screw me because you went and started your own company. He screwed me because he trashed my truck and then started spreading a bunch of rumors about us and was very deceitful. And then wanted to use the photos from the jobs that he did with us as an employee, W-2 employee. No, it's not how that works, guys. Can't do that. So marketing is very important. And the things that you need to know about marketing is very important. And I wanted to share this today because I thought it would be interesting from this point of view
some of the pitfalls and traps that marketing agencies use to manipulate business owners into either staying with them or switching marketing agencies. They promise the world and they don't really deliver. And so this is not a promotion for such and such. Honestly, we really only take 2 or 3 new clients a month. So we're not trying to like flood us with a bunch of leads. We already have plenty. We do well. We're very happy with where we're at. I just hate seeing business owners making bad decisions with marketing agencies who have no good intentions about your business. So with that, I hope you're good. If you have any questions or need anything, or you feel like a marketing agency is reaching out to you and you just want some advice, you can feel free to hit me on Facebook. I'll do my best to get back to you. Again, this is not me shilling my agency. There are plenty of good agencies out there. And if you have one that you think you want to sign up for and you got some questions about it, shoot me a message on Facebook and I'll do my best to see through the crap and see if I can help save you the headache. If they're legit, they're a good company, I'm going to tell you if I can figure it out. So with that, I know you guys are dealing with this in every area of our businesses. We got to figure out who's trying to take advantage of us and who's not. And it's tough out there, but I believe in you. I think you're smart enough to figure it out. And if we make mistakes, we fix it. And that's what leaders do. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Be safe, enjoy, and stay warm.